one of the surveys that we did recently in November at Hydrick and Struggles was around digital transformation. And we asked a number of questions, and two of them come to mind. One was the roadmap, right? Most organizations have a digital roadmap, they have a transformation plan, they have the strategies, and I think it was around 75 or 76% said that we have a great vision and a digital strategy and a plan. But then when we got into some of the details and asked us how much of your leadership actually manages resources to reallocate them according to what your vision is, and that was in the low 30s.
So that's bad news. That's bad news because you need three things for this, for successful digitization. Number one, you need a plan. And plan without resources has no meaning. Second, you can't see the investment as a cost. The moment you start looking at it as a cost, you'll start cutting it, you'll say, okay, let me reduce it, let me get more, maybe I can push it to next year. Again, you have to look at it as an investment. Third and most importantly, you need to get people to understand the super benefits of this. How customers will benefit, how employees will benefit. Because when we're talking of digitization, we're not talking of parts. We're talking of the whole, end to end, starting from vendors of the company to the dealers of the company, to the consumers of the company, end to end. So, end-to-end digitization demands that every portion of the organization, inside or outside, gets a benefit.
I mean, there's an element of culture of digital, right? We like to say that digital is more than technology. Now, the technology is a given, right? It does drive, it's the core of it. But bringing your leadership team, bringing the rest of the organization, even the new age who can do code and do things they're just magicians. But without some of the institutional insights coming from the organization, and that is the acumen of the business of what works, doesn't work, that joining, bridging that gap, we find is not as prevalent, and we think that's one of the derailers.
Absolutely.
What is your experience?
No, you're right. I feel that this journey of digitization is not technology, definitely. It's far more cultural, and it is way of working.
Yes.
How do I work? How do I relate to you? How do I relate to my US office? How do I relate to my Tokyo office? How do I relate to my Ahmedabad office? How do I service my customers? How fast I service my customers? Do I take feedback from my customers whenever I need to? Do I respond to the feedback? Do I make some changes? All this is done digitally, has to be done digitally. And I feel that luckily the young people in the organization are all set and they are very attuned to digitization. The older people who are not that attuned to it need a reverse mentoring. For example, I'll tell you, when I was the CEO of a very large corporation, I got reverse mentored by a young guy of 25. And he was my guru. And I loved it, and he loved it, of course, because he said, I am teaching the
CEO.
But I think it's great, because if you need to learn youthful skills, you need to talk to youth.
Absolutely.
And also unlearning. A lot of people at senior levels have to unlearn the past. And unlearning is not easy. Let me tell you, unlearning is more difficult than learning. Because you're conditioned to doing things in a certain way. So I think we need to help people unlearn.
If there's one thing that you wish that CEOs of Indian companies would understand better about digital transformation in India, what would that be?
There's no one thing.
There's no one thing, correct.
It is a transformation which is end to end. You can't say this I'll do and this I'll not do. You need to do everything.